Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, out on another walk. Today, I'm in the woods, but I'm not alone. I have the wonderful David Chown. Hello, David.
Hello.
You have agreed, because you're a horticulturist, aren't you?
That's right, yes.
You know your stuff.
Yeah, and you pronounced the word right.
Did I? Did people get that wrong?
Sometimes,
Oh,
yeah.
right. Well, I'm thrilled. So that's a good start to begin with. So yes, you're a horticulturist. You know about trees. I'm sort of trying to learn trees. And you said, why don't you come over to a particular woodland that you know, which I've done, in deepest, darkest Surrey. Whereabouts are we?
We're in Knaphill.
Knaphill.
Near Woking.
And this wood is rather special because there's a whole load of different species here.
Yeah, but 48 they say.
48, which is more than your average wood.
A lot more, yes. Yeah.
So we thought we'd have a little stroll, and obviously the aim is not to try and educate anybody on all 48 different varieties.
No, but all fall asleep.
Yes, but really just to enjoy the woodland and I suppose look at some of the differences in leaves.
Yeah.
There's a fact, just to interrupt you there's a fact that I heard on the news and that you were telling me more detail about, that we need to plant 1 million trees a week in the UK.
Yes, yeah.
Because we've lost them.
We've lost huge amounts of trees. There's about 3 billion trees in the UK, but it's nowhere near enough, really. So 1 million is a drop in the ocean.
Is it?
Yeah.
Gosh.
So,
and I was trying to work out what 1 million trees would look like, whether that's a couple of football pitches or a small town. But of course, you remind me that trees aren't fully grown when you start with them.
No, they're all sizes.
They're all sizes. So we're just coming up to some unusual trees that I've not encountered, I think. I've encountered them before, but not really knowingly. So let's go and stand over here so we can see a bit of them. The thing about this wood is you just stumble across all sorts of different species. What have we got here, David?
This is coast redwood.
Redwood.
Yeah.
These are tall buggers, aren't they?
They are. Tallest tree in the world.
Tallest tree. So now these aren't anything like as tall as they go.
No, they can get to about 120 metres.
Meters?
Yeah, metres. Yeah.
So whatever that is, 400 foot or something, that's
bigger than the giant redwood, which gets to about 100 metres.
You were explaining to me before we started filming that the difference between a coastal redwood and a giant redwood is the coastal ones are taller, but the giants are wider.
Yeah, they're much more bulkier. They're the heaviest tree. So the heaviest organism is a giant redwood. The tallest is a coast redwood.
And I mean, we don't have a huge amount in this country, but in America they have a lot, don't they?
Only around California. They're only in a small area they grow naturally.
Right.
So they're not everywhere.
They're not everywhere. I mean, these are fascinating from my point of view because I've not really appreciated how furry the bark is. It's very spongy, isn't it? Yeah. You can quite happily punch that. I suppose if you're trying to impress, your girlfriend, show how your prowess, you can go and I could headbutt it, I suppose. There we are. It's difficult because I'm holding a microphone, but yeah, wow, they are pretty amazing trees. So we got some of those, and the needles or the leaves are like yew trees.
Yeah, they're much like a yew tree on this. Very small. There's yew trees over here. We could compare if you like.
Oh yeah, there's a yew tree just opposite. I mean, this is the weird thing about this wood is you're standing next to, one minute you buy a yew, and the next minute you'll buy a coastal redwood. Look at this. So it's almost identical. Just
foliage is very similar, but the tree itself is completely different.
Yeah, just huge. Let's take a stroll up this way a bit, see what else we can see, because they're everywhere. There's holly here. I can recognise holly as a lot of people probably can. And then you've got other trees that look the same, are sycamore and maple.
Yes,
because the leaves are almost the same, but and I gather they're from the same species family.
Yeah, they're all from the Acer family. There's the sycamore, which is this one, which has a very sort of smooth leaf, and over there's a Norwegian maple.
Norwegian? Let's go and have a quick look at the Norwegian one.
As we trip over.
Oh, here we go.
This one here.
Oh, nearly poked my eye out.
Which is much more jagged.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll put a comparison up on the screen.
We can walk over them, but
oh, there we are. It saves me extra work. So yes, show me the difference here.
It saves you taking a photo.
Yeah. So they may look the same, but actually the one on the right is more jagged. The lobes are more jagged, and the one on the left, which is the sycamore, is less jagged, more smooth.
That's right, yeah.
And also I know that one little hint that I always have with sycamore is that the stem is red.
Yeah, also they have the buds come out in pairs, they're opposites, so you've got a bud opposite each other.
Right.
There's not many trees do that. All the points of a bud are opposite.
Oh, I see.
I mean, conker trees do that, and so do ash trees, but there's not much else other than ash.
Horse chestnut, for those who want to know what a conker is.
Aesculus hippocastanum, then, for those who really want to know what it is.
I don't be pompous at all.
Keep away from it.
Conker tree. We've also spotted some beech, and actually just back there I noticed there was some copper beech, and up above in this particular tree, and I will cut into some other shots after we've done this. They are all around us, you know. Up these trees, because they're so packed in, they're quite tall.
That's right, they've really gone up for the light, and there's some odd sort of rarer things in here as well, like the redwoods back there.
And the reason that is this used to be a nursery, is that right?
It did, yes. It's part of the old Knaphill nursery, which used to be world famous for rhododendrons in the 1850s. Yeah.
So they got rid of the rhododendrons and shoved them everywhere else.
There's still plenty of old rhododendrons across the road, but
fair enough. We're just so we found a few oaks, but not so many traditional oaks. We found
Turkey oak.
A Turkey oak, which is, and now does that originally come from Turkey, or is that just its name?
That area of the world.
Right. Okay.
The conker tree, or the horse chestnut, came from the same area.
Oh, did it? Oh, yes, of course, because that's not a native, is it?
That's right.
Yeah. And that's interesting. Oh, and here I'll show you my knowledge, and I'm going to be embarrassing myself now. This is bamboo, little bits of bamboo. Now David is going to make me feel completely inadequate, because I didn't recognise that till earlier. He told me. How many different varieties of bamboo do you know?
79.
79?
That's a bit precise though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose 60 without a book.
I was going to say, you couldn't get to 80 then, could you? 79.
Well, when you get to 79, do you need to get to 80?
Well, you just want to round it. Just one more would have been funny. So here we go. This is what do we come into now? These are more maples, aren't they? Maple yew around us, and
this is an oak, and that's
is that hazel?
Yes, I could think of the Latin name, but I couldn't think of the common name.
What's the Latin name for hazel?
Corylus avellana.
Corylus avellana. It's like something. It's like ordering a coffee, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll have a Corylus avellana, please, and a muffin on the side. Well, not quite, but here we go. A bit of hazel. Now, I recognise hazel mostly from the stems. The fact that there's, multiple stems coming out.
There's loads coming out. Yeah. It's quite easy. Technically, it's not a tree, a shrub, because it's got more than one stem coming out of the ground.
Is that the difference?
Oh, it's supposed to be, but it's very loose differentiation.
What about when you have trees that have suckers then? They're trees still?
They have to technically be a shrub, but we call it all trees.
They're all trees because they.
If you went with that, a little rosemary plant coming out of the ground would be a tree, but it's not.
Yes. And ultimately, all trees are plants.
Yeah.
Just some of them very big plants. So we were looking for oaks, and we found. Hang on, I'll just come down here to illustrate. Here's a better one. Can I get you to hold that? They don't have to look at the microphone then. That's a red oak leaf, much bigger than an ordinary oak leaf.
Yeah, and it would be redder in the autumn.
Yes, I mean, it's obviously that's a dry, dead one, dead one. And the floor here is carpeted with them. And we were here by this hornbeam. This is where the one that we thought this was a horn because it looks like a beech, but actually the trunk here is so not like a beech, and I was desperate to find it. But all we could see on the ground was these red oaks, and we haven't looked at the red oak, but it's over here, is it?
This big one here going up.
Good heavens. It's just over there, great big red oak. David is one of my viewers who, anytime we spot something in one of our videos on YouTube, bang, I think that's a such and such, which is great. I really appreciate that. Not that I remember always what it was.
You can't always be right because you need you need the whole tree really, the leaf, the stem, the seed, to get a proper.
How long have you been doing your,
over 30 years.
Yeah, so I've done almost year one, and I've got about 5 trees under my belt, maybe 6 trees, round it up to 6, try and get 10 by the end of the year. But I think it's just something that people should know, because trees are around you, and knowing the names of something makes them more than just a tree. Suddenly it becomes an individual.
Yeah. I mean, it's everyone. You could liken it to cars on the road. There's all different types of car, and everyone seems to know what a car is. But the trees are just trees.
Yeah.
And they're just as easy to tell apart.
And then once you get fascinated by the tree and the leaf, and it's in, it's where it grows, how it grows, the length it grows. There's all that sort of stuff, and the part it plays in our modern world.
Yeah.
Or not play.
Once you learn one, it's quite satisfying that you know that tree.
Yes, because a lot of people don't. So you can then, it's a very easy way of keeping up with the Joneses, isn't it? Go, oh look, there's what did you call it? A red oak over there, and they'll go, what are you talking about? A red oak. David, we've already done about 13 minutes.
We'll have to stop there.
Yes, this has been absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much. Over the flight path of where?
Gatwick. No, not Heathrow.
Heathrow.
Your way.
So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for taking me around this. There's so many more species that we could have looked at, but time is a thing. Don't forget to follow, like and subscribe, become a patron, all the usual. Leave a comment, tell us what you like. Would you like to see more videos on trees? Should we get David back again and go on another exploration? That would be interesting. Till then, thank you so much, David.
It's all right.
Bye for now.
Bye.
How do we get out of here?